According to Pew Research, 63% of men under the age of 30 are reporting that they're single, compared with just 34% of women that are claiming that they're single in that same age group. What does this statistic tell you? Well, it should tell you that there's something seriously wrong with modern dating. There are more men than ever that want to be in relationships but can't. And then there's other men that have completely given up on dating altogether. In this video, I'm going to break down why modern dating has failed most men. And if you're currently a man that is struggling to find a woman, this video is going to provide you a lot of insight and value. I will explain to you exactly why you're currently struggling and what you can do to fix this. So make sure you watch to the very end because you're really not going to want to miss anything I discuss in this video. So if you're a man that feels ignored, unappreciated, and completely invisible to women, just know that you're not alone. There are a lot of men around the world that are going through the exact same experience as you. They're having the same feelings of being invisible to society and women in general. The feeling of going on dating apps and not getting a single match. The feeling of landing a date but then having the woman flake on you. The feeling of being at your workplace and being completely ignored by your female coworkers and being pushed in the corner and friend-zoned. If any of these experiences sound familiar to you, just know that you're not alone. I personally experienced some of these myself until I decided that enough was enough and that I was going to do something about this. That's when I started on my own self-improvement journey and began meticulously working on every facet of my life. My mindset, my body, my finances, my health, my confidence, everything. The list goes on and on. I did this until I became completely unrecognizable and the best version of myself. Suddenly I started getting attention from women everywhere that I went. My matches on dating apps went through the roof, and I was able to land countless dates with high quality women that I was actually attracted to. So the point of this story is that there's still hope, and that if you're a man that's currently in a bad situation in life, that things can get better for you. So now that I've shared this story, I'm going to share with you the 3 reasons why you're still single, even though you don't want to be, and why modern dating has failed men. This video is going to be raw and to the point, and I may hurt some people's feelings, but this is just how it is. So the first reason why modern dating has failed most men is the creation of online dating apps and social media. So now you must be thinking, well, the creation of the internet and, bringing everyone together should actually make it easier because now you have a greater dating pool. So wouldn't that be beneficial for most men? But the problem is that it is beneficial, but it's only beneficial to the top 10% of men. See, the problem is that due to dating apps and social media, women now have access to thousands of men across the world, including celebrities. And all they have to do is just turn on their phone, and at their fingertips, they have thousands of men throwing themselves at them. What this does is it creates this environment where competition is so high that the average man just can't compete. The average man doesn't stand a chance. These average men, they just want a relatively attractive woman to settle down with and start a family together. But now what's happening is these men are completely drowned out in the noise and completely invisible to women. And what this is doing to men currently is it's leading to skyrocketing cases of depression, loneliness, and increased violence towards other people. And this is a very real and serious problem, not only in the Western world, but across the entire globe. In a time before dating apps, during our grandfather's time, things were different. Back then, a lot of times women would partner up with family friends or people that they worked with, people that they knew in real life and that there was a connection with. But now all of that has changed. And in my humble opinion, it has changed for the worst. So now you must be wondering, what's the solution to this first reason? Well, the solution to this is us men have to work on ourselves and become the best version of ourselves. Because now more than ever, competition is at its highest. There's no other time in history where men have had this much competition to have to deal with. This is the problem of modern dating, which is why my channel is dedicated to helping you guys to become the best version of yourself and to work on multiple areas of your life in order to become a well-rounded man. Because that's what you're going to have to do if you're very serious about trying to find a woman and start a relationship and grow a family. And if you would like help with that, then all I ask is that you guys like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and join my brotherhood of men that are all working on becoming the best version of themselves. I've also recently created a channel membership for you guys where you guys can become a channel supporter and get priority responses to comments and also occasional recognition and shout outs. So if you're interested in supporting this channel and supporting my message, then feel free to join. It really does help me out, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for all the love and support. So now let's get into the second reason, which you're really not going to want to miss. All right, guys, so let's get into the second reason why modern dating has failed most men. So the second reason is going to be a bit controversial, but it's because women are also now becoming more and more educated and pursuing higher level careers. And what this is doing is it's creating an environment where now women are so tied up with going to college and working on their careers. A lot of them are waiting later and later to have children. They're also now focused on their mission as well and aren't dating. So now this is also decreasing the dating pool even more for your average man. And because these women are also pursuing higher education and higher paying jobs, due to the principle of hypergamy, women tend to date above where they're at. And if these women are making six figures, these women are going to look for men that are making more than they are. So if you're a man that's making less than six figures, that kind of leaves you out of the equation. So this reason alone can kind of give you an idea of why so many men are single and struggling. And what's happening is a lot of these women, once they do finally achieve their career, they're a bit older now, and a lot of guys don't want them anymore. And you know, while they were in their prime, a lot of these women are just trying to date the top 10% of men, and a lot of these men aren't interested in settling down. Because why would they? If they have countless women throwing themselves at them constantly, why would they settle down? So then what happens is these women get older, you know, they finally get their careers figured out, and now they settle for the average man. But now this average man that was, you know, ignored and felt alienated doesn't want her anymore because that man has completely given up on dating. And what this does is it creates this vicious cycle of blaming each other. This led to the rise of toxic masculinity. It also led to feminism. You got men hating women and you got women hating men. So what's the solution to this? Well, the solution should be pretty clear. Us men need to work on pursuing higher level education and looking for higher level jobs that allow us to have an income that can support a family. There are actually more women that are pursuing higher level degrees than men now. So us as men need to step up. We need to find a career that will pay us well, that will allow us to support a family and be a provider. But I advise you to pursue a career that can't easily be replaced by AI either. Because that's another problem that we're currently facing that should be a topic for another video. Because you know, we as men, we naturally want to be providers. As long as we have a woman that genuinely loves us for who we are, we're content with that. You know, we don't need a woman that's making six figures. We want a woman that's genuine, that's good, that can help raise our children, that's loyal, that's dependent, that's beautiful from the inside as well. And if we have that, we're happy. And currently, society is pushing the complete opposite of that. And then we wonder why divorce rates are so high, why men are feeling lonelier than ever, why men are so depressed and down, because it's going against our biological drive to be providers. Yes, the economic situation currently is another issue that does make it more difficult for men to be sole providers, but that should just motivate us men to work even harder, find side hustles, find other means of making money in order to support our families or our future potential families. And you'll find that once you do have a career that can support a family, you're naturally going to start attracting women that are more feminine and that are more traditional. All right, so now let's get into the third reason why modern dating has failed most men, and this one's also very important to be aware of. All right, so the third reason why modern dating has failed most men is that looks are now the most important factor in achieving success in dating. And yes, you can argue that since the dawn of time, looks have always been a major factor in attraction. But with the creation of dating apps that solely are based off of looks, especially apps like Tinder, for example, it's become so much more prevalent now in modern society. Tinder, for the most part, is an app where you're basically in a looks competition. Women have a split second and they decide whether they like you or not based off of just photos of you. And what this is doing is it's creating this environment where only the men that are at the very top in looks and wealth, finances are the ones that get all the matches. These women might be swiping left on a guy that, may not be the most attractive guy. He might have other qualities about him like his charisma, his discipline. He may have other factors about him that are good, and that guy never gets a chance. And what this does is it prevents men and women from finding a deeper level of attraction towards someone, because we all know that looks will fade over time. And if the only thing that you're attracted to is someone's looks, that relationship won't last, because like we said, eventually looks will fade. And this sounds very cliche, everyone says this, but in reality, the most important thing is who you are from the inside. I would much rather choose a woman that's average in looks but beautiful from the inside than a woman that's beautiful from the outside but then complete garbage from the inside. A lot of men and women don't even read the bios on the profiles. They just simply make their decision based off of looks. Before modern dating times, our grandfathers could show other traits such as, discipline and hard work ethic, personality, charisma. And a lot of times that was enough to win a woman over. But now, due to dating apps, that's all in the past. And now it's all just based off of looks. People get professional photographers to get the best angles of their face. They use filters. And you can't expect there to be a lasting relationship if we as a society think that looks are the most important factor. So, these men that do have these other great traits about them, now they're completely ignored. Well, what's the solution to this problem? Well, the solution to this problem is us men need to work on our appearance. And I don't care what height you are, I don't care what race you are, what ethnicity you are, don't let that hold you back. I hear you guys in the comments, and a lot of you guys think that you don't have any hope. You try to find excuses for why you shouldn't work on yourself, and you blame your race, you blame your genetics, you blame your height, you blame factors that are outside of your control. And this is just a form of coping. Face your problems head on and realize that there are things that you can do that are within your control that can improve your situation. And I don't care who you are, if you work on the things that I discuss on my channel, you will become an attractive man. Every single one of us have attractive qualities about us. I want us men to realize that and get out of this victim mentality that we have. And if someone has said that your height or your background or your race is something that'll prevent you from being attractive, that's hurtful. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm here to tell you that that doesn't define you. What you have to realize is the world isn't against you. The world we live in is cruel and unjust, but it's also indifferent. It's not out to get you. And that should be empowering for you, because we as men, if we want something, we have to work towards it. All we can do is just work on trying to become the best version of ourselves and go through this game of life. So I hope this video was insightful and also motivational for you guys. So please comment below and share your thoughts about what you are currently struggling with when it comes to dating. And I try to respond to every comment that I can. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to join my brotherhood. And thank you guys for watching. This is your brother Solstice, signing out.